Hi and welcome to our monthly client wrap-up. I'm Angie Dalrymple, Senior Pilates Instructor here at Village Pilates Studio. I'm here with David Strom, a client here at the studio. Hi David, thanks for joining us today. To start off with, can you tell us a little bit about your Pilates journey, how Pilates was introduced to you?
Yeah, I remember it very well. My stepdaughter is a dancer, and she was working here, not as an instructor, but in the office. And she said, there's a men's class at the Pilates studio, and you ought to give it a try. And so I didn't know what she meant by that, except it might be fun for you. So I went and did that, and it was fun, and it was good camaraderie, and I've been going ever since.
Absolutely, great. Also, can you tell us how long you've been practicing Pilates?
It's a little over 7 years now.
Great. And how, with that 7 years, what's kept you committed to your practice?
Well, as my wife tells me, not too infrequently, as you get older into your wonderful years, you can either spend your money on Pilates or a similar thing, or on doctors and walkers and wheelchairs and canes. And those are pretty much the two choices as you age. So I want to do Pilates.
Agreed, completely agreed. What's your favorite apparatus, and just give us a little idea as to why you appreciate it or enjoy it?
I think I like the pole the best because there's so many things you can do with it. It's got a lot of gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like gadgets.
Absolutely.
And springs and so forth. And you're in various positions. And I just like the exercise, and it doesn't take a great deal of balance. I do work on my balance, but sometimes it's nice just to be flat on terra firma and manipulating the springs.
What exercises come to mind that challenge you regularly, and why?
Well, I think, I've got pretty big and heavy legs. So anytime my legs are out away from my body, where they're being suspended by the lower abs, and you're protecting your back muscles, of course, so you don't strain them, that is a challenge. So for example, we do a stomach series when we're laying on a roller, which, that is balancing, I guess. Where your legs are going out and in and up and down, and that's where it really takes a lot of power in your abdominals, and you build that up, and I'm able to do it, but it's challenging.
Do you believe that Pilates helps you in your day-to-day activities, and if so, can you explain why?
Well, I think mostly it keeps you moving. The more flexibility and strength you have, the better you're going to move. If you work at a desk all day like I do, it's really, really important not to become sedentary. And it just adds to the quality of life by being able to move around and do things physically, take long walks, do whatever. And also, your limitations. Should I pick up that box of books, or should I call my 25-year-old son?
Yeah.
Well, that's why God made 25-year-old kids, so people like me don't throw our backs out. But with Pilates, you know what your limits are.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, when you hear me say that Pilates is a complete control of the body, mind, and spirit, what does that mean to you, and why?
Well, for me, I guess complete control is a long-off wish or a state of affairs, which probably is never going to come into effect. But what I would do, what that means to me, is that your physical and your emotional and your mental health are all intertwined and they're interdependent. It's like tuning an old car with 3 carburetors. You change the air mixture and then the fuel mixture, and the timing gets off and so forth. They're all intertwined.
Yeah.
So I think Pilates is an important leg of that. It's mostly on the physical side, but also the thought process and the discipline that goes into it, and the thinking that you have to do the exercises correctly. They sort of bleed into the mental part as well. But it's important. It's an important part of overall well-being, I think.
Absolutely. Also, can you describe something an instructor has said or done which has helped your practice or made a noticeable difference in just the way that you approach a piece of equipment or an exercise?
Well, for me, it's Pilates is a continual learning process. The exercises are very well thought out. You know, they often target a particular muscle or muscle groups. And for me, it's continuous learning. There's very few classes that I don't really learn something. And I think it takes, I couldn't sit in front of a television set and watch my DVR and watch Jane Fonda or somebody and mimic her, because you don't get that feedback and that correction that really is so integral to the exercise itself.
Then in closing, could you give us any kind of suggestions or just comments as to anything that you'd like to let everybody out there know who's still practicing Pilates, or somebody who's curious and would just like to know a little bit more about the practice?
I think for people who feel that they need to exercise and they really haven't caught anything that, you know, suits their fancy and they're sort of wondering, I would say, you know, definitely try Pilates. You can start literally at any level.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to feel like, gee, I'm walking in here, all these people can do these exercises and I can't, because you will, first of all, you can start at your level and you will progress very quickly. You'll get stronger, you'll get more flexible, and you'll be very pleased with your progress. And you'll be a lot better than not exercising.
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. Well, thanks, David. It was a pleasure chatting with you here today, and we look forward to seeing you at the studio. And for all of you out there, we look forward to seeing you as well. And please stay tuned. Thanks.